The Paralympic Games, or Paralympics, is an occasional series of international multi-sport events involving athletes with a range of physical disabilities, including impaired muscle power, like spina bifida. The Paralympics has grown from a small gathering of British World War II veterans in 1948 to become one of the most significant international sporting events by the early 21st century. We now recognize it as the significant event for people with disabilities that created all-star athletes like Tricia Zorn, Beatrice Hess, and Michael Hodgson, and it wasn't all that fancy 50 years ago. Effort, sweat, tears, and dedication were necessary to create the Paralympics and the pinnacle of the athletes with disabilities we have today. So, if you are an advocate for people with developmental disabilities, you need to know all about this event. Stoke Madfield Games. The first organized athletic event for disabled athletes that coincided with the Olympic Games was the opening of the 1948 Summer Olympics in London. Jewish, German-born Dr. Ludwig Gutmann of Stoke Madfield Hospital hosted a sports competition for British World War II veteran patients with spinal cord injuries. Gutmann's idea was to create an elite sports competition for people with disabilities equivalent to the Olympic Games. The Games were held again at the same location in 1952, and Dutch and Israeli veterans took part along with British, making it the first international competition of its kind. These early competitions are known as the Stoke Madfield Games, and many consider them the precursors of the Paralympic Games. Summer Paralympics. The first official Paralympic Games coincided with the 9th Stoke Madfield Games, but was no longer open solely to war veterans and was held in Rome in 1960. The Games initially opened only to athletes in wheelchairs. Now, they were opening for athletes with different disabilities for the first time at this Summer Paralympics, with the inclusion of more disability classifications. The 1976 Summer Games expanded to 1,600 athletes from 40 countries, but the cornerstone of the Paralympics was still to come. Seoul Paralympics. The 1988 Summer Paralympics in Seoul was probably the most critical milestone that turned Paralympics into what they are today. In Seoul, the Paralympic Summer Games were held directly after the 1988 Summer Olympics in the same host city and using the same facilities. This set a precedent that followed in 1992, 1996, and 2000. It was eventually formalized in an agreement. On March 10, 2018, two committees extended their contract to 2032. Conclusion. The Paralympic Games remind us that people with disabilities have the right to participate in adaptive sports and recreational activities at all levels, competitively or not. According to the International Paralympic Committee, these games focus on values of courage, determination, inspiration, and above all, equality. The Paralympics also raise awareness of mental and physical disabilities in the hope of creating a better life for those with disabilities. And that is all. Thank you for watching. Please share this video with a person you know who might be interested in learning the story of the Paralympics. And remember, First Choice Family Services is your information resource for the DSP industry.